Frenkie De Jong. It's like you got to do some sort of university course to understand who this guy is. Only 5 years ago, during that incredible Ajax campaign in the Champions League with a variety of great players, Frenkie De Jong was seen as the jewel in that crown, sought after as one of the best midfielders in Europe at a young age. Frenkie De Jong is 27. He has been at Barcelona for 5 years now, and I can barely tell you what he's done. The reason why I say this, because it sounds harsh, because his expectations were so high, because he was once seen as a once-in-a-generation talent in the correct role. The issue is, nobody knows what that role even is. Believe it or not, De Jong was originally a centre-back during his academy days at Ajax, and then moved up to becoming a sort of free-roaming defensive midfielder. And to put him into Barcelona's system, he was seen to be the most obvious replacement of a Sergio Busquets. However, that simply is not the case. So the next step up is someone like, at that time period, a Ivan Rakitic, which he didn't really do that great either. Ronald Koeman, of course, worked with Frenkie De Jong with the Dutch national team, said that he performs better in a double pivot, basically two midfielders together to help each other out, in which he actually performed more like a second striker, much more advanced up the pitch. And Xavi came in and tried all of the above, as a Sergio Busquets type of player, as a Ivan Rakitic, as a double pivot, and even a second striker. And yet he doesn't really have a place in the team that is most obvious, and he's been there 5 years. And the main issue is he's still seen as some very up and coming talent. He's now 27. He should be in the prime years. And the main issue is a couple of things. One, of course, is injuries. Last season alone, he missed over 30 games throughout the entire campaign, and it's only getting worse. The main issue being his ankle. And even now, from the start of the season, there's still no idea of when he's going to come back and play. So comment down below your thoughts on Frenkie De Jong. The reason why I'm doing this is because he's just a player that kind of, at this stage, just kind of exists as a player that everyone recognizes is really good, but without really showing it much at all. And that may be really unfair, and of course he has gone through a really tough year with injuries. However, even prior to that, he never was a player that really excelled at Barcelona. Just by looking through his Wikipedia page, the only highlight they've got in there is his performance in the 2021 Copa del Rey final, which he scored and assisted 2 goals. That's the only thing they have after 4 years at Barcelona. So comment down below your thoughts, like, subscribe, and Vizeh Designs for the best football prints, all made by myself. Use code Vizeh for 15% off all items. And let's get into it. Hansi Flick, the current Barcelona manager, said 2 weeks ago about Frenkie De Jong, saying that he is in a recovery process and that he's took a big step forward, but he cannot confirm any time right now. Now, he's been injured since the last El Clasico back in late April last season, and there's been really no idea of how he's doing or if he's really getting any better. The main reason why we say this is because he's not even really been in training yet. He's not begun training with any of his teammates, and he spent the most recent weeks on his own with the club's medical staff. And even though this part is definitely not his fault, injuries are absolutely tragic, this is a big problem for Barcelona. Not only because he is a key part of how they want to play, because he has clearly got talent, but mainly because he is their second highest earner, just behind Robert Lewandowski, with a deal worth more than 20 million. With Barcelona of how much money they really are needing right now, that's a big deal. There's no secret that Barcelona has attempted to sell Frenkie De Jong on multiple occasions. The obvious links with Manchester United happens every single season, and he's now only got 2 years left on his contract. Don't forget as well, even during COVID, he actually did take a cut of his wages during the pandemic when Barcelona really needed the money. Issue is, it meant that he'll get more money in the latter years of his contract. Back in 2022, Manchester United wanted to get Frenkie De Jong, and the club was willing to accept it. The main issue was Frenkie De Jong. Frenkie De Jong obviously had a desire to stick it out at Barcelona to play the club where he dreamed of playing at, and decided to stay. Now, this is respectable. The issue is, it's not getting any better. So has his time at Barcelona gone wrong? You can't really say it's gone wrong, because they have won some silverware, they have had some success, but relative to the size and the expectation of Barcelona, I don't think so. What really is his problem? Why has he not got a sure thing role? Because he keeps changing how he plays. That is because he does one thing that many midfielders don't do and is almost disastrous at this level. He takes way too much time on the ball. So what is Frenkie De Jong? Well, this is how I would explain it. Frenkie De Jong is not a Sergio Busquets type of player. We all know that. He's not a single pivot DM. He's not got the defensive prowess to act in that way. Neither does he have the IQ to cover a back line, typically. Now, what is he good at? He's fantastic at progressing the ball up the pitch. He's incredibly press resistant. He rarely ever loses the ball, and he can dictate tempo incredibly well. For these reasons is why typically when Barcelona passes out from the back, he usually links up to the back line to then progress the ball up the pitch. However, he takes a long time on the ball when doing that. Therefore, it helps out the opponents actually be able to mark out their plays easier. According to the stats here, in terms of average seconds on the ball, with his time at Ajax and his time at Barcelona, he is top of the list in both of them in terms of time on the ball, which at the top level is obviously not ideal because everything is always at a fast pace. So he's press resistant, he's a fantastic ball carrier, and he's also great with a pass. So what is the issue? What is best for De Jong is not best for the team. At an elite top level, you need to know exactly at every phase of play where players should be in the pitch. And with De Jong, he's quite sporadic. So when he gets the ball and moves up the pitch with these sporadic runs and dribbles, the team doesn't really know what to do and which areas to be, which makes it inconsistent, which can be a positive, it can be spontaneous at times. However, it sadly usually leads to confusion of where they should be, and by the time the pass is made, it's already too late. And the perfect example is a Sergio Busquets that instead of dropping deep to receive the ball, he already stays between the lines, so he's already more advanced up the pitch typically, and he passes the ball off much faster, not feeling the need to dribble the ball forward, therefore being much faster in his decision making and to get the ball to their players in much more vulnerable areas. That is just one simple example of a different type of defensive midfielder. 4 different Barca managers has tried De Jong as a defensive midfielder, and all 4 has ended up going against it. So all of this is leading to a very cautious situation at the club where it feels like neither can really trust each other. A article by Forbes, which is a highly respected website, a month ago came out with an article saying FC Barcelona bewildered by Frenkie De Jong's attitude and believes he will leave for free, and they are concerned that he is purposely wanted to run down his contract. He's on a lot of money, earning more money now than what he was previously due to taking a cut during the pandemic, and that's because his relationship with the fans has dwindled down. Everyone seems to know the situation, with articles coming out within the club saying that Frenkie De Jong is becoming more of a problem than a solution for Barcelona, as he is refusing to renegotiate with any form of a contract, which could help Barcelona sort out its final fair play issues. From the perspective of the fans, this is seen as highly selfish. However, you may have your own opinion that if a club agrees to a contract, it is their right and their duty to maintain it, and it's not the fault of the player, which I think is also fair. During the Joan Gamper Trophy match, when Barcelona played against AS Monaco, each player in the first team squad was introduced one by one, and when it was Frenkie De Jong's turn, he was booed and whistled by some of the fans alongside Lenglet. Now, another issue is potentially the idea that he may not be doing his best to get back up to speed. Again, rumours within the club, according to Forbes, saying that he is clearly out of shape after his holidays and continues to turn a deaf ear to any attempt by the club to regulate his contractual situation, which allegedly causes bewilderment with his teammates, as it feels like he's going at a different pace compared to the rest of the others. So can De Jong make it work? Well, there's now Hansi Flick now, however they're still waiting on him to come back, and after such a long time out with injuries, I just think time is running out for him, which is a complete shame, because he is clearly a gifted, fantastic footballer. However, his skill set is just so rare, and you need a team to be built around him. The issue is, it's hard to build a team around a centre midfielder, and when the fans are now starting to turn on you when you want to be at the club, that will cause resentment, especially when money is a massive part of it. And if you're refusing to help out the club, then the fans will decide to no longer help out you. And that's a tough one. Frenkie De Jong, as it stands, is going through a very tough phase in his career, and we don't know how he's going to come out of it. And that's a real shame. So tell me your thoughts down below in comments, and I'll see you guys next time. See ya.